You're listening to Scribble Talk, a podcast for bid and proposal professionals. My name is Bhaskar Sundram, and with my co-host Ashley Case, we will be sitting down with the industry veterans to share their stories, discuss their career, and learn how to make an impact in the industry. Today's guest is Roshinee Naidoo. Roshinee is an intrinsically motivated, highly accomplished professional with around 2 decades of experience in preparing detailed deals for multiple projects and composing and presenting winning proposals. She is an expert in strategizing the different disciplines and departments and implementing bid governance models and best practice methodologies. Roshinee has successfully delivered 250 plus professionally produced compliant proposals and has worked on tenders ranging from 150,000 euros to 20 million euros. She won strategic bids accumulating revenues Australian dollars 50 million for a company. Also, Roshinee is the first ever and the only person of color with the highest proposal professional accreditation in Africa. Welcome, Roshinee, to Scribble Talk. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Bhaskar. Thanks for the opportunity, and I think this is such a great initiative, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Roshinee. So let's go back to the very beginning, Roshinee. Where were you born? And let's talk about your high school and your early education.
Well, I was born in Havenside, Chatswood, Durban, which is South Africa.
Mm-hmm.
Durban is obviously foundation for majority of the Indian settlers that, came from India to South Africa. And I started very much from humble beginnings. As my parents always tried to give me the best, and I'm externally grateful for what they've given me. But I think love was the foundation of our home, and that was more than enough. I do come from a very big family, and I'm the youngest. So, like I said, growing up in Durban, you obviously, the environment that you grow in is very family orientated. It's a very, close suburbs that you live in. You develop close relationships with people. And talking about where I was born and where I'm upbringing, let's talk a little bit about my parents as well, because I think they were instrumental in my coming into this world. And, my parents were very business minded. They basically started early stages with, being very into business development, selling cookware, and then obviously opened up a bakery. But with the economics of South Africa, things didn't go quite well. So the business didn't, take off as well as we expected. And I had an amazing childhood. My mom, to this day, she sacrificed a lot of time for me. As a child, you kind of exposed to different things, and I think my parents kind of took me for a lot of outgoing activities, which is like dancing classes. I did a lot of Indian classical dancing, by the way, which is called Bharatanatyam, and I did modern dancing. Parents were great ballroom dancers, and I think dancing is in my blood from a little age. And I also did modeling from 11 to 18 years old. So hence, very fashionable, stylish. I don't know if you're going to ask me how many bags I own, but, I like the dressing up. I did a bit of runway shoots and photo shoots, and obviously gained confidence from there. If you want me to continue, I can tell you about my journey in my childhood. A funny story, Bhaskar, is that in my matric year, you have the prom.
Yep.
And, we had 2 outfit changes. One is the formal event and one is the evening event. And funny story, I was in the bathroom changing into my second outfit, and they were calling, the princesses to come out because I was a second runner-up, totally unexpected. And I go out to get my prize and be crowned with a dress, and the rest of the queen and the first princess had a sari on, a traditional sari. So, like I said, my journey from childhood has been really quite wonderful, thanks to my parents. And coming from a very specific Indian cultured family, you you're given a proper grounding. Parents, especially Indian parents, they invest in their children's future. And yeah, that's about it from where I've started, from the humble beginnings in Durban. Thanks, Bhaskar.
That's beautiful. I think it's quite glad that you kind of touched a lot of topics there, and I'm noting as we speak, and we will cover them as we progress. Roshinee, that's brilliant. Roshinee, where did you do your university, and what was your first job?
Bhaskar, I actually, after schooling, I basically went to college to do public relations marketing, funny enough. And, that was a very interesting journey in my life because, at that stage, bid management wasn't known. So I started in public relations marketing. And unfortunately, I only did my first year, but in that year that I did my my public relations and marketing, I had the highest in the institute. And then I couldn't really fulfill my 3 years because of financial situation. But, Durban is home is obviously from a career perspective, there's not much growth. And and then I relocated to Johannesburg. From there onwards. But in terms of education, I continuously studied throughout my career journey. And I think that if you look at my studies, I worked and studied all my life. I think I got about 35 certifications from higher national business diploma to line management coaching, proposal management, project management, I think contract law at Harvard, and now also I've got leadership and then fulfilling my master's degree. So for me, it was all about attaining and getting the, the constant evolving and understanding the business as a whole. Because when you work with tenders and proposals, you need to be an all-rounder. So plus having parents as goal-getters, I think that's where I get my drive. And my dad was the person that installed moral values in me. So I carry those values and respect throughout my life. I must admit as well, the constant craving and hungry for learnings. Nowadays people just go on Google, they can Google just about anything. But I think that for me, learning still really stimulates my mind. So doing my MBA is a natural progression of my learnings because it's more focused on the business. Finalizing, like I said, my research progression as that's where I need to focus my career in terms of bid management in Middle East Africa. It's taken me a long time, I must be honest, Bhaskar, to finish my studies because of the fact that, the exorbitant cost and being a single mom and being retrenched a couple of times and the country being in recession, it obviously affects your financial situation, sets you back. But it's not how you start, it's how you finish, I think. So I'm excited about finishing it in the next month or so. Funny enough, my first job was crazy. That's in 1992. I started as a credit controller for a newspaper. And back those days, you're looking at 1992, I had an earnings of about 2,300 Rand a month. And that's about 10,000 rupees. So for me, people, nowadays can walk into a job and earn millions of rands. But, for me, it's like I said, I started at the bottom and worked myself right up. So that's how, that was my first job. Totally different from what proposal management is.
I think, as you rightly said, nobody ever comes to this profession, straight from university. And I think there is a lot of movement now that tries to make proposal as part of degrees, but it's a journey there, Roshinee. So what brought you into proposal world and how did that happen?
Well, in about 2000, 2001, funny enough, I was responding to tenders. I started from, like I said, from the bottom and worked myself up. Having worked for international companies has been a great learning experience. You learn from, obviously, global managers and best practice. So, once working in international companies, I quickly caught on to the role and functionality, developed my skills thereafter through proper research. And it became my passion. I never did think that 20 years later I'd become like a subject matter expert in this field. But I guess all my investments in the studies and continuous learnings, and finally now completing my master's research proposal in business policy and ethics, is given me a platform to really enjoy what I'm doing and love what I do. And I guess the proposal as well, it's been a long time. I mean, my master's research proposal has been a long time in the making. It's certainly a huge milestone for me. But like they say, success does not come from what you do occasionally, but what you do consistently. So I started, like I said, it's been a constant flow. Like with proposals, you've got to have a constant team for your proposals. So I think that my career was kind of constant in terms of developing myself and understanding the business and, getting to know what I'm actually doing and investing in that specific area of my career.
That's brilliant. We already shared, 250 plus proposals, multi-countries, multi-industries. Do you have any memorable proposal effort or few memorable proposal efforts?
Yes, there's one that stands up, funny enough you asked, because, it's such a aha moment, I would call it, because it was an Alexandra Forbes WHO infrastructure proposal I worked on. And it was awarded, and it was a making of a building coming up. To see this building materialize and seeing this whole project coming to fruition, and to know that you were instrumental of that, it's really, really, feels great. And, this building has come up, and every time I drive past it, I'm like so captivated, because to know that I was part and parcel of this project. So definitely that stands out for me and creates quite a memorable experience, because I was involved in that bid and part of the implementation team, and actually going into site as well to see this whole project coming together. So from foundation, it materialized into this amazing building with proper infrastructure and facilities. And that really stood out in my career, because I've watched it, I've seen it in, coming up in front of my eyes. So that's something will last and stay with me forever, I think.
Wow, that's very powerful. So as we already touched, lots of proposals and, many countries there. And also you were a dancer, fashion, personal life. There's so much achievements there as well. Single mom, I'm sure you're so happy to have you. What do you think are your key achievements, both professional and personal together?
There's so much to be proud of, Bhaskar. I mean, at the end of the day is, being a single mom is a great achievement as well. I mean, there's so much, like I said, to be proud of. I mean, I haven't even touched base. I've only touched a little bit of my personal history. But in a very short summary, I can say to you that I built my first home. I think at that time I was the first home builder in the Midrand area in Johannesburg. It was 347 square meters. I built a Tuscan villa in a very good estate. It took me 2 years, but I did it. With building, it's a huge challenge, because you have the challenges of going through different regulation bodies like your NHBRC and getting approval from your estate in terms of the architectural design. And, I did it on my own. I project managed it. I had my own builders, bought the land, designed the house with the fittings and everything. And like I said, it's a huge, huge achievement to do it on my own. And I'm proud of that. So, for me, I've achieved so much. Like I said, I've had the houses, I've had the cars, but all of those really boils down to my part of my achievement. I'm also proud of the fact that, my educational leadership achievements and my APMP professional level. and the contributions to the proposal industry. I also opened up the first dance school in Midrand. So that was important for me because in 2005, I opened a Bollywood dance school in Midrand. And that was to help the community, special time where I taught kids. I was also involved in various, charitable organizations. And in our culture, we say seva, you got to give seva, which is giving back. And I think serving humankind is very important for me because I'm taught that at an early age. Charity begins at home. So throughout my life, I give back in many forms, whether it's a family member that's sick or passed on, like my dad, for instance. I give back to the Lung Association. So every year, there's a special cause that I contribute to. And like I said, also when my aunt passed away, Cancer Association. So I really honor all the people that are going through illnesses or passed on. For me, I really don't like to talk much about, charitable things because it's very personal. I think that, whatever little you do in your own way is special. And I genuinely believe in giving random acts of kindness because that's something I do consistently through my life, is to help people. So I think that's also an achievement, is to make a difference to community and to people. And I think, lastly, raising my daughter. She's only known me as an only parent, and she's traveled the world with me. She's my best friend, my world, my confidant, and biggest cheerleader. So I think I've got a lot to be proud of as a single woman and a single mom, especially.
That's beautiful. So now comes the challenge, because you already said so many things now. Tell us the things not many people know about you, considering you already told about the dance school, you were a ballroom dancer, modeling, fashion. Tell us 3 things other than this.
I don't have 3 things going to be enough, but I think for me I could speak intermediate Arabic and French.
Okay.
I'm also a neat freak, not OCD, but neat freak. I like order, and I'm also a bit claustrophobic. I abstain from meat on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. I observe these days in respect to the deities that I worship. And I've traveled to 21 countries, and I went on roller coasters that I have a fear of heights, but some of the experiences were eye-opening. Yeah, and I think life is too short to make up regrets. You've got to live now. There's no better time than the present. So yeah, I hope that gives you an idea of the things that people don't know about me.
Definitely, Roshinee, that's very helpful for me. And Roshinee, let's quickly go through your career timeline, Roshinee, from the 20 years of experience, from the first job we touched all the way to where you are now.
I think 20 years is a long time, I started, like I said, in administration in a very tender junior role. And then I progressed into bid management, bid manager, then going into a senior bid manager, and then obviously a team leader. It's been a natural progression. It's been a long journey. Bid management was starting to grow in the country. And the journey, like I said in the beginning of my career, it was from strength to strength. I've gained so many years of lessons learned. I thoroughly enjoy being given that range to design and create with strategies and value propositions. And the best part of is to challenge, I think, and to grow and empower teams. So throughout my career history, I've had the opportunity to do all of these roles. Bid management and proposal management comprises of so many elements. So I enjoy working with different teams across the globe, different cultures, different landscapes. That's what makes proposals, I think, interesting and unique, because you're working with such diverse skills, and you get to cross-learn, you get to cross-skill. And plus, the industry is ever evolving in terms of best practice. So this keeps you wanting more, to be passionate about what you're doing. And I think that some of the experiences in my journey have been good and then have been bad. So at the later stage of my career, I think it kind of changed because the beginning of the career was such a boom. It was such going from a total low level to a high level and growing extremely well in the industry. And then, when the country changes and things changes, a lot of the companies, you've got to continuously educate them in terms of what they need to do. And I think that for me, as you look at the evolution of bid management, for me, my experiences in the later stages turned, not so great as I'd like to, because people, like I said, don't understand the profession. Dotting your I's and crossing your T's is not really bid management. The proposal space has grown exponentially, but it becomes frustrating when the profession's not respected and quite not understood. Like I said, it becomes more administrative instead of strategic. There's no government structure, and I think people need to understand running a full-fledged process is to improve governance overall. And throughout my career history, like I said, there's been a consistent flow. I think, like I said, the challenges we experience is basically, I think everybody in the industry understands the challenges, but we need to change that perception of, short time frames. I think it becomes really stressful because you're killing the whole, bid management life cycle. And then we sort of become like a factory just churning out tenders. So governance goes out the door. And I guess you just have to be basically understand that some things you can change and some things you cannot change. But that's been my long journey. But, it's been very, very, like I said, challenging, good and bad. And I'm glad I've actually got the opportunity to go and work with different companies, because it's given me a different perspective of how we do bids. And I can obviously, when you're working with international companies, you can be able to share that with your South African market. And that's given me the platform to learn, develop, and as, like I said, as I get older with time, you learn to sometimes realize that sometimes you fight a losing cause just to leave it as is. But I guess that's all part of life and the journey of life.
Quite fascinating. I think we touched about the career and you just went for an entire, it just tells about your personality, Roshinee. You just went to all the career, proposal, best practice, then you came to life. So it's a beautiful end now. It's nice. When did you hear about the APMP as a body, and when did you become a member of APMP?
Quite a while back, 2008. 2008, I was featured in a magazine, and at that time I just met the founder of the APMP, and I think the APMP was launched in South Africa around about 2009. So when I entered the proposal world, it was around about, with regards to the APMP, was about 2008 when it was launched. So that's how I knew about the APMP.
Got you. And the founder, is it Sandy Pullinger? Or?
That's correct, Sandy Pullinger. That's correct. Okay. So when she launched the APMP in South Africa, I kind of was part and parcel of that team that was part with that launch. And I remember that at that stage it was Bill Graham and Sandy and myself and a few other members that actually was busy with this launch and introduced the best practice into South Africa.
Do you have any founding memories of working alongside Sandy in setting up the APMP chapter, and how has the chapter in South Africa evolved all the way from 2009 to so far?
Absolutely. Sandy was one of the influential persons in my life and career. I think her belief in me really gave me the kickstart into the proposal world. I got my professional level in 2017, and it was only 4 in South Africa at that stage. Until now, 2020, we've had an additional 2. I think Sandy, yes, she really gave me the foundation and the platform. I shared my joys with her, shared my disappointments with her, and I think that she'll definitely continue to be a role model to me no matter where I go in life.
That's brilliant. And how was the journey towards the certification? When did you do foundation, practitioner, and finally the professional?
My foundation level was attained, I think, 2011. And then 4 years later, it was basically attained the practitioner level in 2015. And then 2 years later, I attained the professional level, which is 2017. So I think from 2011 to 2017, I acquired those 3 accreditations. So that was a fantastic journey in terms of the timelines of my certifications. Yeah, and then obviously, thereafter my career just grew. Like I said, I was contributing to the APMP besides the 2 articles I was published, because at that time, around about 2018, 2019, we had the South African World Cup. So when the South African World Cup came to South Africa in 2010, I think that was a huge platform for me to speak about bid management, because bids were starting to be a buzzword at that time. So I got the opportunity to write an article. I was featured in Brainstorm IT Week, and I think I was the first person in a magazine at that time, and speaking about bid management. So that was a great, move in terms of my career. And then at APMP, I obviously did the panel discussion with the APMP conferences. I got to be a speaker, about speaking about bid officers, and to panel discussion, chair with Rick Harris. And that was a 2012 annual conference. So the first time I got to meet Rick, and it was a huge highlight because I got to share the stage with him. So I remember being so nervous. I was extremely nervous. And then after I spoke, and then I said to Rick, did I do okay? And he had 2 thumbs up. He said, you did well, don't worry, because I was such a stress ball. But that was a huge, huge highlight for me in my career. Also, speaking at the public procurement as part of a debates team. And then I was obviously a committee board member in 2013. And then 2015, participated in the 6th annual conference. And then in 2018, I got to panel chair with John Williams. I was part of the membership and strategic partnership team for the APMP of South Africa. And yeah, that has been my journey at the APMP.
Roshinee, so let's move into the important part, which is the surprise rapid random questions. So, but we'll touch with what you already said before we enter the proper round. What's your favorite dance move? It could be or it could be Bharatanatyam. I know if somebody tell you, what, just teach me one move, what would you teach them?
Well, so Bhaskar. I think that in Bharatanatyam, the head move is, people try to do the head move with putting your hand above your head and, your 2 hands like a Om, yes, Om sign, and then try to move your hand and, into that like left to right without moving the neck. So that's a very difficult move in terms of Bharatanatyam. But I think in modern dancing, I think I always say, I said to some people when you're dancing as well, the flexibility to dance and to move, I think that you got to be a natural, but I think that there's so many moves I can teach. It's not one specific one because it all depends on the music and the crowd, and obviously there's certain steps to follow in terms of music. So there's choreography that goes into it. And I wish that everybody learns to know that you can't just pet a dog on your pet a dog and change a light globe, but it's more than that. And I think if given the opportunity, I am willing to teach anybody.
Okay. If somebody comes to Bollywood dance school on the very first lesson, what do we teach them?
I think we teach them, first of all, the introduction to dancing. I think they need to understand that it is a discipline. With dancing comes, it's a form of art. And you must understand that you're not only in it for the sheer enjoyment of it. So it's basically to teach them to focus, teach them hand movements, which is a start, and how they use their fingers. Also for them to gain confidence, you want them to be themselves. So for me, it's about making them feel relaxed, making them feel very comfortable in the environment. And I think it's about gaining the trust factor, because once you gain the trust factor with your learners, you basically let them become themselves. They start blooming and blossoming, and see them dancing naturally, and just being themselves. And I think that's what it's about, is for them to be free in their own element.
So Bharatanatyam is a classical dance move versus Bollywood is slightly more Western. So do you teach both in the same place, or how does it work?
I was taught Bharatanatyam, but I haven't taught young kids Bharatanatyam. I used to teach kids Bollywood dancing and modern dancing. And yes, it was at the same venue. Basically, kids would, prefer whether they wanted to do Bollywood or they would want to do modern dancing. They would have a preference, and obviously, I would allocate different times to teach the kids according to their requirement.
Moving to modeling and fashion, Roshinee, I think when you were at the school and high school, you were involved. Did you continue after as well, doing modeling and fashion?
No, I actually didn't, but I was actually, funny enough, I did appear in one of the South African magazines for a fashion shoot later on in life. And then in high school, like I said, I did speech and drama and I did English, but I was involved in a lot of playwrights and things like that, but not so much of the modeling there. But I think that it's still in me, the fashion streak and the the being very conscious of trends and things like that in the modeling industry. But I haven't had the opportunity to pursue it, no.
French and Arabic, that's pretty unique, living in South Africa, coming from an Indian background. How did that happen?
Yeah, absolutely. I worked for Alcatel-Lucent, and that's where I learned French. I'm not fluent in French. It's very basic, but I can be able to converse. If someone speaks to me in French, I understand them. And Arabic is because of my love for the Middle East. I've got lots of family and friends in the Middle East. I went on holiday for 3 weeks to the Middle East. And I've got lots of, like I said, friends and family there. So it was, like I said, it was something that I said to myself, I need to learn another language. And Arabic was the first thing that I thought of. And, it's something that I enjoy. It's very sweet. It's a very sweet language. So it's something that I'm picking up, and it's, like I said, it's very intermediate levels, but I'm getting there slowly.
And you have traveled to 21 countries, Roshinee. What's the most beautiful place you've ever been?
Oof, God, all the places in the world are so beautiful. I've got so much more to travel to. New Zealand really stuck with me. My brother lives in Auckland. It's the furthest place I've ever traveled to. It's just something that's so, untouched. It looks very untouched. It's very beautiful scenery. I got the opportunity to go to Hobbiton, where the Lord of the Rings movies were filmed. So that was really, really a really eye-opening experience. Breathtaking views, untouched landscapes, really green. Everything's green. And just the people itself. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience.
That's brilliant. And what do you cook better than anyone?
I'm actually quite a good cook, funny enough. My daughter says I'm the best cook. I really enjoy cooking curries. I must be on a busker. Not one specific curry, but my daughter tells me I make the best chicken curry ever. But I love cooking my curries. I love cooking a lot of, westernized foods as well. So I think I can cook, like I said, a mean lamb or a mutton curry or a chicken curry. I think that's something that everyone would enjoy.
Got you. I will keep an eye on the next APMP South Africa conference. I'm coming there, Roshinee, for multiple reasons. One is curry. So,
okay, you're more than welcome.
What cartoon character or a movie character best represent your personal philosophy?
Ooh, that's a good question. If you're saying a movie character, I would think Superwoman, because a lot of people say to me I'm Superwoman, but not really a cartoon character, but I think I would relate more to a superhero, Superwoman. People have known to call me a powerhouse, being able to multitask, doing 10 things at once, being a single mom, juggling studying, juggling work, and, with the other initiatives that I have on the side. So I guess it's because of my pure determination and drive that I can achieve all these things. And obviously, the Almighty above is playing a very instrumental purpose in my life in giving me the strength. And I think because I'm a strong woman, so I can relate completely to that. So Superwoman would stick with me. But I can't fly, Busker. I can't fly. I wish I could.
So, what's the most courageous thing you have ever done in life?
I think, I think being a single mom is courageous on its own. Being a single mother is just another task and that life doesn't really prepare you for, but you learn so quickly to adapt. And I think when you have the courage to go forth and know that you have to raise your daughter single-handedly, that takes courage, because you have to be that guidance for her through the bad, through the good. And you have to provide stability and a proper grounding and foundation to her. So that's been courageous. I've been courageous in my own right. I really am a brave woman that speaks the truth. And I do share and voice my opinions. So sometimes it takes a lot of courage to do that. But I do believe that a strong woman's voice is to be heard, whether she believes things or not, or whether she agrees with you or not. I think for me, I'm a woman that is very open to share her viewpoints. It may not be to the best of people's wanting to hear it, but I'll say it anyway, because I think that everybody deserves a platform to share and to voice their concerns.
as a person who is into fashion, how many handbags and how many pair of shoes do you have?
Oh God, I'm really going to ask me that. I think, having traveled, I bought bags on every holiday. So I'm not going to say I got 21 bags, which is a lie. I have bought more bags than that. So I got about, maybe 30 handbags. And then shoes, I have a winter and a summer range. My shoes are color coordinated, like my outfits are color coordinated in my wardrobe. It's winter and summer range. I think I had at one stage about maybe 800 pairs, but I think now I've downsized a lot. So I think I've got about maybe 500 pairs.
500 pairs of shoes?
Yes.
Oh my God. Hooray! This is going to be the highlight. Let me tell you, Roshinee. That's amazing. So, share a funny incident in your life.
Besides the prom,
Yeah.
the funny incident is when I went into the mall with not knowing I have a slit in my jeans. So yeah, I'm rushing into the shopping mall, not realizing I have a tear behind my, I could say, by my thigh on my right-hand side of my jeans. And I'm walking to the mall wondering why people are looking at me strangely. It's because I've got a rip in my jeans and you can see a little bit of my skin. And lucky enough, I had a jersey. So I tied my jersey around my hip, and that really saved the day.
These days, tab jeans is the fashion, Roshinee. People pay
I
more
know.
time than buying things that are tagged, which is like 3 times more expensive than the jean, which is fully stitched. But now we are in a
Yeah,
different world now.
very true. Very true.
So, what does the word okay actually mean?
The word okay.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing just about average when you say okay. I think that doing okay is, for me, not good enough. You got to be doing extremely well. Every day when you get up in the morning, there's so much to be excited for, just for the gift of life, and you're awake. So you must say, I'm great. I'm doing fantastic. And be grateful for that day. And okay just doesn't cut it for me. It's average. It's even when you look at a proposal, it can't be just okay. It must be wow. So I think that's my take on okay.
Oh, that's nice. Nicely put. So if your 5-year-old self suddenly found themselves inhabiting in your current body, what would your 5-year-old self do first?
I wish I can go back to being 5-year-old. At 5-year-old, you're so innocent and carefree. I think I would be doing puzzles. I'd be doing puzzles, and I used to love playing puzzles at 5-year-old. So if I was 5-year-old and gone back to being 5 again, puzzles and basically jumping on all these castles that you get, those little castles, built up castles, jungles, gyms, and enjoying myself, 5-year-old. And dancing, don't forget dancing.
If Bollywood makes a movie about your life, which Bollywood actress would you like to play in your role, and what genre would your movie be?
That's a good question. I think, growing up, a lot of these Bollywood celebrities, had an impact in my growing up. But the female actress for me, obviously, would be, I think, Priyanka Chopra. She's been a bit, she's been both sides of the Western and Eastern world. And I think a very true life story will be something that I could relate with, something that really happened, and get to see, obviously, that being portrayed in a movie would be fantastic.
And what do you think will be the title of the movie?
Let's see. That's a good question, but there's so many titles that I think we can talk about, say something about, we can maybe label it the power of never giving up, or the trials and tribulations of a woman. But there's no specific title that can come into mind, but I think it's on track in terms of what I'm mentioning, in terms of what I think my life journey has been. So something of that can relate to that, a title that will be able to be powerful, that can stay in people's minds, but it's something I can put thought to. You gave me an idea, Bhaskar.
Definitely. I can imagine there'll be a lot of dance, a lot of change of costumes. There'll be a small story.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, it's great. So who are the people who have been the most influential in your life and career?
There's a lot I'd actually there's so many, because it's been a 28-year, journey that I've embarked on, having landed in Johannesburg 28 years ago. But there's so many people that obviously been influential in my life. My late dad, first of all. They say you have two moments in life that changes your whole life. One is birth, one is death. For me, my dad being late, he was very influential in my career, in my success. I think I also want to thank my mentors, my ex-bosses, for giving me the opportunity. Kevin Kemp, I started my journey in Johannesburg very early in life. And then there's Roelof Lowe, Jules Masson from Alcatel-Lucent, Casey van Straten, and Elliot Chisoris from MTN, been really instrumental in my career and my development. And not forgetting Paula Fernandez. I mean, they've treated me with such respect and kindness. So I really, really have to mention them, and I never ever get to or forgotten everything they've done for me in my career. And it's very important that you give thanks to these individuals, because it's moments like these that we can recognize true leadership. And so I really want to say thank you to them. And then Sandy Pullinger, she's given me the platform. So wherever I go in life, she'll be a role model to me. And then my professor for my MBA, Professor Roshinee Naidoo. When I was going through all these challenges, she pushed me forward to complete my MBA. So I dedicate my master's research proposal to her and others as well. And, I'd like to thank the APMP India team, Abhijit, Kartik, Harsh, and also I'd like to thank Deshni in South Africa, Roshinee Naidoo, and Jill Howe in the USA, for her, a commitment to, being part and parcel of my journey in proposal management. And lastly, my mom and daughter, they're my biggest motivators. I strive to be the best, to give them both a solid foundation. And I guess that's part of my purpose-driven life, is to take care of the people that have played a very pivotal role in my life. So yeah, that's very important. I think these people have been very constant in my career. So thanks to them. And yeah.
What's one thing that you wish you had known when you began your career?
I didn't know I'm going to dictate the rest of my life and end up, where I am. Being in bids and proposals, I didn't know that. And I think LinkedIn is the best ever to connect with people. So I definitely wish I knew all of that when I began my career. But yeah, I think definitely I didn't know and expect that I would be where I am right now in life. Having known what I've known then would have been maybe not the right timing, but I guess that you learn as you grow.
That's brilliant. So what's the best piece of advice you've received and from whom?
This is it's one person that stood up to me. It's a very close friend. She's battled with breast cancer, and she's overcame this illness, and now she's in remission. And I said to her, you're such an overcomer. And she turns around and said to me, but you're an overcomer. I said, why am I an overcomer? She says, because you become what you can overcome. And that stuck with me because I said, and then she says, and I said, yeah, that's because I'm just becoming. I don't know if it makes sense, because I think that the older you get as well, like I said, when a woman's in the midlife, you kind of like, you're in the stage where you're becoming whole. And she also said to me, nothing in life is permanent. Everything is temporary. So never let anyone or anything get you down, and always use those experiences to be your biggest motivator to go further in life. And something that stuck with me throughout my life. I think that's why, for me, I think that being kind, being fair, there's enough room for everyone to shine. And I think I just want to be a positive influencer based on what she's taught me, because, when people are in difficult life situations, it teaches you to be so humble and and everything in life is not about, being status driven, it's about basically just enjoying the sheer gift of life and being grateful for everything we have. And I think that there's 3 important quotes I can share with you. Is that what I live by? And that's one by Deepak Chopra. It says that you must find a place inside yourself where nothing's impossible. And the other one is by Mahatma Gandhi. You must be the change you wish to see in the world. And the last one's by Oprah Winfrey. They say, what you know is speaking my truth is the most powerful tool we have. So hopefully today I've done just that. I think I'm owning my power, being fiercely authentic, and the world's your oyster, I guess. From here onwards, let's see what happens.
Nicely said, Roshinee. So who haven't you seen or spoke in a very long time, and you hope that they are doing okay?
My mom, and I speak to her, I can't say my mom, but I haven't seen my mom in a very long time. So I speak to her almost every day I can, so I can't say I don't speak to her. But my mom is definitely the person that I am dying to see. With the COVID-19, it hasn't been very easy for me because she's the only parent I've got, living parent. And, it's been hard because Mother's Day and her birthday was in May, and she was supposed to come from Durban to Johannesburg for my daughter's graduation. But due to the virus, she couldn't travel. So I haven't seen her in like 6 months. So it's been really tough on me. So the pining of just wrapping your arms around your mom and giving her the longest and biggest hug, I think that's something that's really will bring tears of joy to me. So yeah.
That's nice. So a multi-talented personality, successful career, loving mom and daughter. What's something that you're looking forward in the future?
So much more, so much exciting things coming my way. I'm in the midst of change, very, very big change. I think at this stage in my life, after accomplishing so much and being at the peak of my career, I think that I'm definitely, change is coming my way. New chapter in my life. I think I need to be in a place where my skills are going to be valued, really get to shine in my element, as I've got so much to offer the world. Taking my career to the next level, I think reaping those fruits of my hard labor. I've got exciting new initiatives coming up. I've been working with some individuals, and it's an opportunity for me to do what I love and give them that platform to uplift and change lives. And finally, to feel that sense of belonging, because, you want to be able to share knowledge and get to travel with people who have the same global mindset and understand international best practice. From here, like I said, it's a lot of things that I've got going on. And lots of people said I should write a book, but like I said, time frames, trying to multitask, multi-skill. But I'd rather, write a book that's more focused on empowering and not fictionist. We have enough of that in the world, I guess. And let's see what the future holds. I'm just going to say #limitless. I want to grow old without any regrets. I want to know that I've been fulfilled my life purpose and make a difference, connect with people that I meet along this journey, and to be insanely happy and wildly successful in my career. I think that's about it.
That's beautifully said. I'm sure all your wishes will come true. Is there any part of your life or career that we haven't touched, Roshinee, that you want to spend like the last 1 or 2 minutes on?
I think, like I said, I've touched briefly on my personal life. But, what I want to share is that, like I mentioned in the very beginning, coming from very humble beginnings, coming from a very typical Indian family. When you grow up in a typical Indian family, you either become a lawyer or you become a doctor. So my dream was to become a lawyer, but that quite didn't work out the way I wanted it to. But my daughter's followed up, and she's fulfilling my dad's wishes. Fulfilling my dad's wishes because she's a BA law graduate, and she's studying a second degree, which is an LLB internationally. So I'm sure my dad is lucky, or he's happy in heaven that he's finally getting a lawyer in the immediate family. But besides, like I said, opening the dance school, relocating to Johannesburg, I started with nothing. It wasn't easy times. I lived on my own, got my first place, and I just started off with a spoon and a cup and a mattress. And for me, that was just good enough because I was just thrilled to have a place of my own. But I think that in your journey of life, it's all about evolution and learning and developing yourself. And I'm very excited what the future holds. I think that, I'm passionate about gender equality. I'm passionate about empowering women. We have about 80% of women in bids. They're very male-dominated environments. It's important for women to be given equal opportunities. And I also think it's important for women to support women. So that's part of my initiative going forward. Make sure I uplift society and get to, help people along the way. And my bucket list is just half full, so I've got so much more to accomplish to fill the whole bucket. And I'd love to be given the opportunity to participate internationally on conferences, being involved in training and development, which I'm so passionate about, and really want to make a difference, I guess, in the proposal world and to just humankind as well.
Wow, that's a very powerful close there, Roshinee, and I'm sure you will make a big difference to everybody around you. So I have no doubt about that. So thank you so much, Roshinee, for your time today. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you with us at Scribble Talk. Wish you all the good health and happiness. Please continue to inspire bid and proposal colleagues, your down school, every other initiative that you're planning to do, like your charities and stuff. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and do continue to inspire everyone. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaskar. Thank you so much for your time, and thank you for this platform. It's like I mentioned in the beginning, it's been a great initiative, so thank you very much.
To our listeners, thank you so much for tuning in. Please visit bachuscribble.com/podcast to listen to this episode and check out any of our other previously recorded episodes. If you've enjoyed today's interview, don't forget to subscribe, review, and share the Scribble Talk podcast. We hope you'll check out our next episode where we interview another industry expert and special guest. Until then, it's Ashley Kays,
Bhaskar Sundram,
signing off.